Hi, first grade, it's Mrs. Thomas. I am very excited to read to you a book called Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. I picked this book to read to you because it is about camping, which is a favorite summer activity of my family's and also the theme of my classroom. So this story is written and illustrated by Chris Van Dusen, and it rhymes, which I also really love rhyming books. A Camping Spree with Mr. Magee. Early one morning at 7:03, Mr. Magee and his little dog Dee packed up the camper and hitched up the load, hopped in the Rambler, and then hit the road. They drove to the mountains, far from the sea, for 2 nights of camping, or possibly 3. Have you ever gone camping before? It's fun, as long as it doesn't rain. "There's nothing like camping," said Mr. Magee. "I know you will love it. Just wait and see. The views are fantastic. There's hardly a sound. Aside from the wildlife, there's no one around. And the air is so sweet you'll sleep like a log," said Mr. Magee to his small spotted dog. A few hours later, they took a sharp right and found a great spot to lay camp for the night. It was high on a hill with a beautiful view of Mount Adams, Mount Lincoln, and Jefferson too. But perhaps the most wonderful feature of all was the brook that ran over a steep waterfall. It's a pretty scene, right? Dee gathered pine cones and branches and logs. Magee made a campfire and cooked some hot dogs. And as the sun set behind the distant knolls, they sat roasting marshmallows over the coals. Who likes s'mores? Me too, they're my favorite. One time we went camping and Mrs. Thomas had s'mores for breakfast. That's pretty much why I like camping, because you get to eat all those s'mores. As the embers went out, they felt tired and dozy, so they climbed in their bunk beds all warm and cozy. But while they were falling asleep without care, along came a stumbling, bumbling bear. A kindly old bear whose sight wasn't so clear. He couldn't see far and he couldn't see near. But he could smell marshmallow, sticky and sweet. This smell made him hungry. He wanted a treat. And those of you who go camping, you know you have to clean up all your food before you go in for the night so that the bears or animals don't smell it. He sniffed out the place where the marshmallows lay, but the car and the camper were in the bear's way. Yet that didn't stop the sneaky old snitch. He simply tried squeezing right under the hitch. And as he was shimmying into the gap, he pushed up the hitch, which let go with a snap. So the hitch is the part that connected the back of the car to the camper, and he shimmied under there, and when he did that, he unhitched it, unlocked it. This is not going to be good. Now that the camper and car were untied, they started to roll down the rocky hillside. The car bounced away on the old logging road, while the camper was heading to where the stream flowed. It flew down the hill in a wild, bumpy ride, with Dee and Magee sleeping soundly inside. So the car's going this way, and the camper, which they're sleeping in, is going this way into the water. Luckily, this has never happened to the Thomases when we went camping. They were snoring and snoozing, enjoying a dream, when splash went the camper right into the stream. Not good, not good. The splash shook the camper. They bumped out of bed. "Now what in the world was that?" Magee said. And when he looked out and saw where they were, his hair stood on end, and so did Dee's fur. If you look closely, their hair's standing up because they just got really scared and nervous. Dee and Magee both started to quiver. As faster and faster they headed downriver. But just when they thought they'd fallen over the edge, going to happen? Their camper got stuck on a rock on the ledge. So there they were, stranded, Mcgee and his pup, on top of a waterfall 50 feet up. I would be scared. Who doesn't like heights? And you wouldn't like this. Meanwhile, that nearsighted bear from before was searching for one little marshmallow more, when lo and behold, as if out of a dream, he spied something sweet floating over the stream. But what that bear thought was a marshmallow treat was really the hitch and not something to eat. So remember, they said the bear can't see very well, and he thinks that this part of the hitch is a marshmallow. Does it kind of look like a marshmallow shape? It does. So this bear can't see very well, and he thinks that's a marshmallow. What do you think he's going to do? Let's see. The bear was determined to capture his prize, so he jumped in the water right up to his thighs. He splashed through the stream to the edge of the fall and snatched up the trailer, hitch, camper, and all. So he's going to go try to eat it because he thinks it's the marshmallow. Dee felt a tug. Magee heard a knock as the bear pulled the camper right off of the rock. He dragged them both all the way back to the bank when he realized the hitch was not sweet, but quite rank. He spit out the hitch and left in dismay, while Mcgee and Dee's camper rolled away. It flew down the path with a jolt and a jar. So he bit it. It wasn't a marshmallow. It was metal. He didn't like it. And stopped in some bushes right next to the car. Dee popped her head out. Mcgee looked out too. Had they really stopped rolling? Could it be true? At last things were quiet and peaceful and still. They hooked up the hitch and drove off down the hill. And on the way home, Mcgee said to Dee, "That trip wasn't quite like I thought it would be." So when they got home with the sky turning red, they decided to camp in the backyard instead. So they decided the woods was not for them. Too much adventure. And that is the end of our story. I hope you enjoyed a camping spree with Mr. Mcgee. Our school year is coming to an end, and I just wanted to wish you all a really, really happy and safe and fun summer. I cannot wait to see you in September at Parkway Manor when you're big second graders. So exciting. So it was really nice getting to know you all this year and seeing you in Spark and at specials and in the hallway. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful summer with your family. So bye, Parkway Manor. See you in the fall.